is so feared. Wit being a very good Pangit, again, for those of you who don't know, Wit being a little shorter and fits with the tag, being a very versatile swing player, Hexen a strong H3 player, and Yucky actually being a Japanese player that has joined with them just recently, so not a lot of film on this team comp yet, so very excited to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely interested to see here, because we do have Power picking up the charger as we expected here. Again, Splat Zones, picking up the charger has a certain implication for it, but as we see there, Power is up for the task, and I kind of want to see what happens. Especially, we have two splatter shots on the other team, charger and a Tri-Slosher. It almost seems like we're seeing, Blaster. Seems like we're seeing the blasters come out a lot more in Splat Zones than I would have predicted. But in this particular case, I just don't know if it's going to have the kill power for what what we're bringing to the table. Of course, Power is definitely aware where people need to be or where they are going to be, and that's what this kind of separates, good team from a bad team is can you outplay Power to some extent. So we're going to see here Llama God trying to get in there. It's not. There we go.
Able to get in just a little bit. And I'm glad you mentioned the blasters. We talked a little bit in the pregame about how, especially in the Japanese scene, one of the more popular picks has been the custom blaster. Not necessarily just because it's a blaster, but because it does have inkjet. We've talked about how important inkjets are, and right now we're going to see Yucky having it up. It's going to go up here a little bit. Rob going to have to get out of there in a hurry. Looks like not quite able to do so. The burst damage is just a little bit too much. Blaze going to have to be very careful, is able to get out, but now they know where Blaze is. They've got some control of the left side, the right side looking a little less stable, and right now, they're just kind of holding the position right now. Great communication. Yucky unfortunately going to go down, but once again, Hexen there to pick up the slack.
I mean, it's great that this team was able to push back and get to 73. For it to be a complete shutout, that may have been a little bit more disheartening, but the fact that they're able to get any movement at all and really make this push, it's great. And as we see the suction bomb come out from Power, it doesn't even need to get the shot off there. It's I'm glad that you mentioned sort of being able to see where some of these guys are going to be. That was a nice shot.
Not easy.
I want to say, we've talked a lot about inkjets today, and I've seen that was a good match right there from Set to Destroy. We've seen inkjets I've seen them sort of be ridiculed as sort of a special that doesn't require a lot of capability. You sort of use it and it's this big explosion. It's pretty easy to maneuver. But I want to say that inkjets they do have a high skill cap. You can play it if you're a newer player and they're fun and they're not super hard to use. But if you're a higher level player, they require a little bit of precision, looking ahead, aiming ahead. And that's, I think, why we're seeing them used so much today, because they can be effective in those high level moments.
You see their Power top KA, or at least tied with it, and that just does go to show you that if you're a new player and you're looking for snipers to watch Power, watch Resbit. They're still doing it. The top snipers are still getting it done in Splatoon 2. Maybe it's not the every time situational pick, but just because it's hard at first, don't be disheartened. And if you feel like chargers really aren't for you, pick up another weapon. There's no shame in it. Just play Splatoon. Play the game.
Yeah. I mean, there have been changes to chargers, and their range is definitely not as effective, but their mobility has been increased, and maybe to some extent because of players like Power seeing what the capability was and could be. But all in all, I think there's still a large viability for them, and we're seeing that still. It is possible to be incredibly helpful to your team. So.
And already, I just want to point out that now Yucky staying with that custom blaster, but Hexen switching over to the N-Parry Splat Dualies, which has emerged as a pretty strong pick amongst Dualies players because of this right here. We were talking about it earlier. The inkjet going to be able to... Wow, I thought for sure that we are going to get the kill on that second one. But again, inkjets. The people stack inkjets for a reason. It's so versatile, able to get so much done. But that tower push going to get shut down very. Blaze actually has that inkjet online, ready to use it as well. Going to get back on the tower. Might opt to retreat here just a little bit as they got around, I believe it was the right side there. And now they got to be careful here. Although the lockout isn't as common on this map as it used to be, if you lose your courtyard, you are still in a very, very dangerous position. So great job here by Primitive not quite giving it up just yet.
This is super interesting to see, for a second there, just they were Primitive able to get in there and really make a few things happen against, Yucky and a few others. It's good moves. I mean, now obviously they're taking, SetToDestroy is taking the lead, and I don't know if they're going to be able to dig out of this one, Primitive, but yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see the Imperies here. I'm not an Imperi fan. I like their special, but I'm a Dapple guy. I'm a Dapple Dually main, and that's nothing new. But I'm glad to see Dualies finally making a tournament appearance, because I don't think we saw any of them in the last Splatoon 2 tournament. And so I'm glad that somebody's picked them up for some amount of viability.
Although while we're talking about that, SetToDestroy continued to chain. It seems like they always have at least one Inkjet ready to move there. But they finally managed to kind of claw their way out. Like you were talking about here, they're slowly starting to take back their courtyard. They've got to be careful. Pinkett there with the Tri-Slosher, able to continue the pressure, and you're just not seeing any real progression here. Every time something's about to happen, they just go 1 or 2 down. Power, of course, standing back there, taking aim at that nice little marker that Splatoon so graciously provides you. And now Power's going to